Hello and welcome to UMD News Analysis, our listeners and viewers. This is Shimelis Gebremichael. Our today's program deals with an analysis on the importance of learning from history to provide a remedy for the war in Ethiopia. We cordially request you to listen to our program. This is UMD Media and you are listening to News Analysis. UN urged to learn lessons from Rwandan genocide and act now to stop Ethiopian war. From the recap of the crisis to providing some remedies, this recent publication provides a detailed insights about Ethiopia. How and what? We will look in this News Analysis edition. Despite one of the devastating genocidal wars in northern Ethiopia, particularly in Tigray, the world fails to act in a manner that is expected. The piece commences its analysis. Media institutions have shown all kinds of atrocities and reported the heinous crimes against innocent civilians. The Guardian, in its May 18, 2022 edition, tried to analyze the war and is calling all concerned bodies to learn from history like the Rwandan genocide. The publication is saying the United Nations need to learn lessons from Rwanda genocide and now act to stop Ethiopian war. It states that the African group urged UN to press for the humanitarian access and peacekeeping force to be deployed in Tigray amid atrocities. According to The Guardian, the African civil society groups have accused the United Nations of inaction over atrocities in Ethiopia, warning in a letter that it had not learned the lessons from the 1994 Rwanda genocide and that the situation risks repeating itself in Ethiopia today. The piece chronicles some of the damages and crimes on Tigray in particular and Ethiopia in general. Tens of thousands of people are thought to have been killed and millions more displaced since war broke out back in November 2020. The Guardian says all the parties in the war have been accused of crimes including arbitrary killings, mass rape, and torture. It states while ethnic Tigrayans across the country have been subject to mass arrests amid a spike in hate speech, which has seen the Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed refer to the Tigrayan rebels as weeds and cancer. In the letter to the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, 12 African civil society groups including the Kampala-based Atrocities Watch Africa, the Institute for Human Rights and Development in Africa, and Nigeria's Center for Democracy and Development called on him to provide leadership in ending the ongoing war in Ethiopia. The signatories said 28 years ago the Security Council similarly failed to recognize warning signs of genocide in Rwanda or act to stop it. In November 2021, the UN Security Council issued a statement expressing concern over the fighting, but it has yet to take any concrete steps towards resolving the conflict. Last month, a report by Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch accused forces from the Amhara region of waging a campaign of ethnic cleansing against Tigrayans, with the acquiescence and possible participation of Ethiopian federal forces. Dismas Kunda, head of Atrocities Watch Africa, said, with reports of ethnic cleansing coming out of Western Tigray, there is real reason for concern that some of these crimes reach the level of genocide, and it's essential that the United Nations grasp the seriousness of the current situation and respond accordingly. The UN Human Rights Council has appointed a team to investigate abuses committed during the conflict, although the government has vowed not to cooperate. Tigray has been largely cut off from the rest of Ethiopia since the fighting began, with transport communications links cut. About 90% of the region's 5.75 million population are in need of aid, and the region's Health Bureau estimates that at least 1,900 children under the age of 5 died of starvation in the past year. In March, the government unilaterally declared a humanitarian truce to allow supplies to reach the region, but only a handful of aid trucks have arrived since then. The letter urged the UN Security Council to press for immediate and unimpeded humanitarian access to Tigray and impose an arms embargo on all parties to the conflict. The signatories also called for deployment of an international peacekeeping force led by the African Union, which has its headquarters in the Ethiopian capital, Addis Ababa. They said such actions will be vital to assisting Ethiopians who have been suffering both direct hostilities, associated human rights violations, and obstructed humanitarian aid. Will all concerned bodies learn from lessons from the past and provide the possible remedy to the complex problems in the country? We will wait and see. Will these advices be well noted and act accordingly? That is an answer to be observed in the months to come. This has been UMD News Analysis with me, Shimelis Gebremichael. Thank you for listening and have a good one.